And I'm going to do an opening statement. You know, I was taught to do just the way you did it. You come out and you go, here's what we got. Okay? A good negotiator never, ever, ever does that. A good negotiator comes out and says, Elvis, we've worked hard to put together a good, fair proposal. All right? We know how important it is to you for it to be fair, and quite frankly, you're the judge and jury. We also know that you've done a lot of research and you've spent a lot of time. So what we don't want to do is make that all wasted time. So we've worked hard to make it right. We also know what you'll do if you don't think it's right. You'll jump back on that Yamaha and you go somewhere else. Okay, or maybe just go straight home and get over the excitement that Harley has provided you. So if that happens, shame on us. We take full responsibility for it. But I got a feeling you're going to get a kick out of this. Now the bike you picked out, it's just what you said you had to have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love it.
And it will take care of your biking needs for the foreseeable future. Here's your opportunity. We discounted it $1,000. You own it for $12,999. These are the fees, including the taxes. Your bike, your Yamaha, we want that bike badly. We will buy it. We're not going to make them an offer for it. Your words. We're going to buy it for, what sounds stronger?
Yeah.
We're going to buy it for $8,000. Now, if you put down $2,500, which is about the type of money people normally put down on a bike in this price range, you've got 3 payment plan opportunities. Your first payment plan, don't squeal like a pig, okay, is high, $278. But this is a short-term payment. It saves you money in carrying charges. You build equity quicker. You can trade it sooner if you so desire. However, a lot of our customers are looking for comfort. At 72 months, the payment is way more comfortable than it is at 48 because it goes all the way down to 212. However, there's flexibility in this payment as well because you can still pay it off early and you do not pay any prepayment penalty. And this is what our customers have deemed the best of both worlds. At 60 months, the payment's way less than it is at 48. It's a little bit more than it is at 72, but you save money, you build equity faster, you pay it off sooner, ergo, best of both worlds. Do me a favor, go ahead and circle and initial the payment that works best for you, and we'll get your new bike ready for sale. That's a close, okay? You didn't close, and you didn't close either, okay? Close. A close means he has to say yes or no.
Steve, I appreciate the $1,000 discount. I mean, I thought I made it clear. I got to get at least my payoff on my bike, and I was hoping for a little bit more. And it doesn't look like we're really close.
Empathy. No confrontation. And I never, ever, ever, ever ask somebody what they think their bike's worth. What kind of number do you think they're going to give me? Low? Has any customer in your career, Gary, said, well, my bike's in rough shape, it's got a lot of miles on it, and quite frankly, I think I'm lucky that you're giving me what you're giving me. No one ever said that, have they? Metric guy. I don't ask them what they, sometimes I'll blurt it out, okay? That's fine, I can deal with that too. He sort of blurted it out, but this was such a weak objection, I'm almost ashamed of him, all right?
Oh, but I have another one for you. So.
There's one coming, okay. So what I'm going to do is empathize first. Hey, not a problem, Elvis. Almost everybody that trades a bike into us says exactly the same thing. Nobody ever thinks we're giving them enough for their bike. You know what? I've never traded a bike in and left going, wow, they gave me more than it was worth. So we get it, we understand, not a problem. Now I'm going to try to raise his level of commitment or smoke out another objection right now. So, Elvis, if we can solve this trade-in problem, though, everything else is fine. Nothing else will prevent you from taking your new bike home today, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good, good. Elvis, we get a lot of our customers from customers. Okay, you don't know us that well yet, but you're going to discover that we do what we say we're going to do. You're going to discover that our bike nights are a blast, our customer appreciation days are first class. You're going to end up hanging out here more than you probably ever would have imagined, especially coming from a Yamaha bike. It's just a different experience when you buy a Harley. However, 6 months from now, All right, you're going to be on a ride, you're going to be at church, you're going to be at work, you're going to be out to eat, you're going to be at somebody's house, and they're going to say, hey, I'm interested in a motorcycle, and we hope by that time you've got the confidence in us to send them to us. By the way, if they buy from us, we'll send you a check for $50 or a check to the charity of your choice for $50. However, if you send someone to us, they're going to find a bunch of pretty bikes, and I'm going to tell you how we do that in just a second. But the bottom line is, if you send someone to us, and they buy a bike from us, and they go show it off, and somebody walks over and says, hey, that's a pretty bike, it's a pretty dangerous bike because it needs 2 new tires, how would they feel about you having sent them to us?
I mean, not real good, I suppose.
It's not going to happen, okay? The $8,000 we'll buy your bike for is our initial investment into that bike, okay? We're going to put 2 tires on it. Now, you know what those tires cost, don't you?
Like $120 a piece.
120 plus installation, so it'll be about,
I don't know, maybe 300, 320.
let's just round it down to 300. We're not going to sell a bike to somebody who has to make their first stop at a service center to get their bike serviced. We're going to do whatever services are due on your Yamaha. And if you're as smart as I think you are, you probably haven't done the last one because you knew you were going to trade it, right?
I'm about 900 miles overdue.
Okay, and that service would probably be around 400, 350,
I don't think it's quite that much, but
200?
380,
280?
280.
Okay. You got a few dings and dents, right?
A couple, someone dropped something on the front door at work, but
Did you ever get an estimate on it?
no.
Any idea what it would cost to,
Yeah, I looked on eBay. You can pick up a front fender that'll color match up. I don't know, it's like 150 plus shipping.
okay, let's just round it down to 150. Then we'll detail the bike. We spend about, say $75 to detail it completely. All right? So, a customer walks on our lot. Before they'll ever get a chance to look at your bike, ride your bike, much less buy your bike, we will have invested $8,000. All right? Then we will have invested, do me a favor, add this up real quick, 300 plus 280 plus 150 plus 75.
805.
We will have invested $805. So, 8,805 is what it will be before anybody gets a chance to see it. Now, let's just say, for example, that you decided that you're going to drive off our lot on that Yamaha. Okay, let's say we can't get together. And you remember what I just said here, and you say, well, shoot, if I spent $800 on that, I bet you I could get $9,500 for it all day long. And you know what? There's a good chance that you might be able to. So let's say you did that. And let's say you're out riding around, you've got new tires, it's been serviced, you got the new front fender, you have it detailed, and you are driving down Roswell Road, and you're at a light, and someone rolls down the window and says, hey, pretty bike. And you go, thank you. And they say, it wouldn't happen to be for sale, would it? And you go, well, as a matter of fact, it is for sale. Now, this would be a miracle, wouldn't it? But hey, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
And they say, how much? And you say, well, $9,500 in cash money, and you got the bike. And they say, we're in. And the money changes hands, and you take a cab home. All right? So, you invested $805 into it. You got 95, which means you're $695 to the good. Okay? You'd be happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd be happy until you came back here. Actually, you'd be happy until you went to any bike store. Because what you'd find is you'd find that the price of our bike went up $520.
What do you mean it went up 520?
We didn't change the price. What you would have missed out on is the Georgia state tax credit they give you when you trade a bike, meaning you only pay the 6.5% tax on the difference, not on the overall $12,999. Do me a favor, multiply 8,000 times 6.5%.
520.
So if we subtract the 520, which by the way, you'd lose this anywhere you went to buy the bike, you'd end up with $175. Now, in order to get $175 to the good, you would have had to spend $805 and then have a miracle occur at a stoplight. Now, you can go ahead and spend $805 on your bike and hope for a miracle, or you can go ahead and say, Steve, get my new bike ready so I can take it home. Which way do you want to go?
I gotta back you up there for a second, Steve. Where was the paper with all my payment options on there?
Right here.
Alright. I understand where you're coming from, but my interest rate 6.99% on 48 months. What is it on 72?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, because what we did was we ran 3 different payments, and I don't know what the interest rate would be.
Is it 6.99?
Is it?
It's gonna go up at 7%.
I would think it would go up.
Yeah, it's gonna go up.
Yeah, I would think it would go up. Okay, but no, bitch about the payment.
But I mean,
So-
212 a month. I mean, I told you my absolute cap was 180, and I can't do 212.
You know what? You're budget conscious. You know, and that's okay. All right. You told me that you had been paying about $120, and you did say you could go up to 180. And if you remember, right before we took the bike out for the test drive, I mentioned that this one would be slightly north of there. But you know, you're caught up in the excitement, and that's my fault, not yours. All right. You know, this 212. Part of that is a savings account. Now you're saying, what part of it's a savings
Yeah,
account?
it doesn't look like a piggy bank to me.
It doesn't look like a piggy bank to you, no, it doesn't. Your bike today is a $13,000 bike. You're looking at 72 months, which is 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that bike will be worth in 6 years? And help me out here. What would that bike be worth in 6 years? He drives 4,000 miles a year.
I forgot what we got you on.
Yeah, about $7 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna go through what everybody goes through, and that's called depreciation. You're just not gonna go through as much of it. But when I said savings account, I wasn't kidding. Because if the bike is now worth 13, and at the end of the term, when you owe 0 on it, you've got a $7,000 asset. So if we take $7,000 and divide it by 72, that means $97 of this payment is going to come back to you, whether you trade it or sell it. Okay? So if that's the case, then your net payment is $115. But it won't be a nickel unless you go ahead and okay.
One of these sheets.
Yeah. Unless you go ahead and okay that right there so I can get your bike cleaned up. Okay. By the way, is that true?
Which part?
Yeah, which part?
Which bike? Good question. That his net payment, when it's all said and done, is not $212. It's $115, because he's going to have a $7,000 asset when he's done. Part of every payment you make, I mean, part of your mortgage payment is a form of savings account. True?
Exactly. It depends on when you bought.
Well, right, but you know what I mean.
No, absolutely.
Hell, if I finance this jacket, part of the payment, when it was all said and done, is probably worth $25. But you know, part of it is coming back to you in the form of a asset on your balance sheet, or something. In the case of a motorcycle, it is a marketable commodity, whether you trade it or sell it. True or false?
Absolutely true.
Okay? And remember this. When the guy says the payment's too high, basically he's saying, justify it for me, justify it for me, justify it for me. As long as we didn't put him on a bike that was way out of whack. And I'm trusting that you guys are good enough at qualifying, that if I come in and say I've got a $300 budget, you're not gonna put me on a $600 bike.
Oh, God, no.
Okay. Because if you do, we're idiots. All right? Now, another way to defend the trade, all right, or the payment. You know, I've done this a couple times. He said he wanted to be at 180.
Do you wanna be on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to be at 180, we're at 212. That's a difference of 32 bucks a month. Okay? The first thing I'd say is, Gary, that's not a problem. Okay, we can deliver you a bike for $180 a month.
Just not this one.
It won't be the bike that you picked out. Okay? Now, I don't suggest that we look for another bike, although that is an option. Actually, you've got 4 options. All right? Option number 1 is another bike. I personally don't like that option. And the reason I say that is this is no time to switch somebody at this point. Okay, you switch somebody now, you're probably going to blow the deal. Okay, so I throw it out there in case they're just desperate to buy some sort of bike. I throw it out there, but then cross it off. I make them take it back. Nobody ever does. Option number 2 would be you come up with about $3,000 additional dollars down. But you know what, Gary? Keep the money in the bank. I don't know whether he's got it or not, but I'm not going to put him in a position where he has to tell me he doesn't. Keep it in the bank, keep it in the stock market, keep it wherever you got it, because I don't think that's a particularly good idea either. Number 3, just because we're looking at 32 bucks, I don't even need a calculator for this one. Number 3 is you take home the bike that you picked out, you deserve, and you can afford, and you pay a whopping $1.10 a day more than you would hope to pay for it. Okay? Option number 4 is, if you'd like me to, I can look at an extended term, which would probably reduce the payment. If not 32 bucks, it would reduce it some. Which one of these would you like me to do for you? Okay? By the way, guess what first pick always is?
Extend the term.
Extend the term. All right, which is why I've been encouraged, I'm going to encourage Matt and Elvis and Ed to send you guys out with like 48, 54, and 60. So you got 66 and 72 left. Although I'm told that lots of 84-month payments.
On the new bike.
Anything on a new big twin, we can go 84.
Okay. Then you got 72 and 84 left. So basically, all you've done is condition the customer. You've tried to justify the payment. You've got them thinking, and then when you bring out 72 and 84, how do those payments look? Really, really good. Another one is, tell me that you've been paying $1.20 and you can't go to 212, right?
Right.
Okay, I understand. Mark, everybody would like to keep their payments exactly the same. Okay, I'd like to keep my payments the same too. But fact of the matter is, you're looking at a lot more bike here. Okay, but why don't we do this? Why don't we look at both of the payments and see which one really gives you the better bang for the buck? Fair enough? What'd you say you're paying right now? 140?
120.
120. Okay. And we're going to 212. That difference is $98. All right. At $120 a month, if you leave here and you jump back on the Yamaha, okay, you've got an $8,000 bike for $120 a month. Okay. If you leave here on the Harley, well, you've got a $13,000 bike for $212 a month, which is a difference of $5,000 for only $98 a month. And I can tell you one way I know to start a ride here in Roswell is offer $5,000 bikes for $98 a month. We could not control the crowds we would get. But that in essence is what